program. Let's start the program. Good evening to one and all present here, and we thank you for joining with us. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this national virtual conference. Thank you all finding time and visiting the national virtual conference. Let me introduce myself. My name is Venu B.R., Associate Professor, Medical Surgical Nursing Department, SCPI College of Nursing and Paramedical Sciences, Gonda, UP. I will be responsible for hosting this virtual conference today. We are presenting topic today is nursing perspectives and resilience on the impact of COVID-19, organized by Department of Medical Surgical Nursing, SCPI College of Nursing. So COVID-19 drastically impacted the global community. The nurses' contribution to the healthcare sector globally always delayed. Nurses play essential job responsibility in the numerous ways while dealing with mankind sick or well, either in healthcare settings or at the community level. So next, I would like to introduce our speaker. The first session presenting Mrs. Simranjit Kaur Brar, Associate Professor, Department of Medical Surgical Nursing, Adesh University, Bethinda, Punjab. Madam, graduate and postgraduate from MMDM University, Mullana, Ambala with distinction with gold medal. And MBA in Hospital Administration from NIMS University, Jaipur. She has total 9.5 year experience with 3 years clinical experience, and she published 20 publications, national and international awards. And she got 2 research presentation awards. And the second session presenting Professor Meena Kumari Madam, HOD, Department of Medical Surgical Nursing, SCPI College of Nursing. So, Madam, she have 21 year experience and she published many articles. And Madam, presenting topic is nursing resilience in the world of COVID-19. Thank you, Madam. We are so glad you to be here today to share your insights. And before we start, let me explain how all the participants can talk to us during webinar. If you have any questions or doubt during the presentation, you have right to come to chat or it makes messages. Don't on the speaker. And therefore, request all the participants mute out the audio to avoid unnecessary voices for smooth functioning of this conference. And next, for inauguration or welcome speech, I would like to invite Professor Madhumela Madam, Principal, SCPI College of Nursing, to deliver the welcome speech.
A very good afternoon,
Madam, Madhumela Madam.
A very good afternoon, everybody. I am Mrs. Madhumela, Principal, SCPI College of Nursing and Paramedical Sciences. And it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to our National Virtual Conference. The theme of our conference is Nursing Perspectives and the Resilience on the Impact of COVID-19. I hope the topic is the need of the hour. First and foremost, I pray to God Almighty for His blessings. I am extremely delighted to welcome our chairman, Dr. Owen Pandey. Welcome you, sir. I feel grateful to welcome Mrs. Alta Pandey, President, SCPM Group, who always extend her support and help in achieving our life. I extend a warm welcome to our Managing Director, Dr. Ayush Pandey, and Secretary, Dr. Ayushi Pandey. I extend my most courteous welcome to our Director, Mr. Ajidar Dubey, and Administrator, Mr. Dheeraj Dubey, who constantly motivate us and believe in us. I feel honored to welcome our guest speaker, Mrs. Simranjit Kaur Brar, Associate Professor from Adesh University, Bethinda, Punjab. Ma'am, we are eager to hear from you.
Ma'am, we are
I extend my cordial welcome to receive
extend
another
a
resource
cordial
person,
welcome
Professor
to
Neena
another
Kumari,
resource
HOD, Medical
Professor
Surgical Nursing
Neena
Department,
in
SCPM
Medical
College of
Nursing
Nursing.
Department,
Last
SBM
but
College of
not
Nursing.
least, I
Last
extend my special
not least,
welcome to
I extend my
all the
special
delegates,
welcome to
faculties,
all the
students
delegates,
of our
faculty,
college and other
students of
colleges.
our
I
college
hope
and other
today's
colleges.
session would be
I
useful to develop
hope
resilience in a time of
develop
crisis and
clear
overcome the hardship. I wish everyone a successful,
wish
safe,
everyone
and
a
fruitful
fruitful,
conference.
safe,
With
and
all
fruitful
enthusiasm,
conference.
once again,
All
I welcome you
enthusiasm
all
on
to this momentous event. Thank you.
this moment.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you giving the deliver welcome speech. Just our chief guest speech. I would like to invite Mrs. Alka Pandey Madam, President SCPM Group, for giving a speech. Unfortunately, Madam could not connect to this platform, so we have to go to the direct to the presentation. Okay, I would like to invite Mrs. Simranjan Kaur Madam for presenting topic nursing perspectives on the impact of COVID-19.
Good evening, Shrinu sir.
Okay, good evening, madam.
Good evening, everybody present over here. Respected Honorable Dr. O.N. Pandey, Chairman, SCPM Group, Mrs. Alka Pandey, Dr. Ayush Pandey, Dr. Ayushi Pandey, special chief guests of the program, Chief Patron Ma'am Mani Maglai, a Principal College of Nursing, and the Patron Vice Principal Ma'am. Thank you very much, and I welcome every one of you to be the part of this virtual conference. I'm going to start my topic. It's a very rising topic nowadays, that is a nursing perspective on the impact of COVID-19. I think my voice is clear to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
So by hoping that I am starting my presentation on this topic, I am going to share the PPT with you, which I have made on the basis of today's scenario. Is this visible to everybody? Shrinu sir, is this on the screen? Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, if we see the current situation in India, India logged a record of 3,49,691 new coronavirus infections in the day, taking its total tally of coronavirus cases to crores. Today's census, just you can check it on NDTV or the Times of India, it's 2 crores, while active cases crossed the 26 lakh mark, according to the Union Health Ministry data updated on Sunday. In India, experts says 80 to 85 of the population are asymptomatic. Shortness of breath is the most common clinical feature among symptomatic patients in the second wave. 54.5% of the admissions during the second wave required supplemental oxygen during the treatment. From the few days, I am working as a frontline healthcare worker in our university in the COVID unit. What I was observing from the few days is the lack of oxygen. If we are listening from the news that there is a shortage of oxygen, it is a true. Lack of oxygen is the lack of oxygen bag can be maintained by nurses only. How we will see how we will maintain the level of it. Okay, if we see over 90 million reported cases up to the date, the COVID-19. Just check over one simple diagram showing coronavirus disease 2019 with the typical symptoms of fever, cough, and breathing difficulty. COVID-19 crisis
Madam,
is happening.
madam, you are sharing the slide?
Yes, I have. I am sharing.
Only one question.
Welcome
The
slide.
second slide is not showing.
Uh, now, is this
Which slide?
second slide, current situation in India?
The second slide is not showing. Only welcome slide only shows.
Is this visible, sir, or not?
Visible. Welcome. First slide is visible. The second slide.
But second is current situation in India.
Correct. Yes.
Is this visible?
No. It is not visible, ma'am.
It is not visible, ma'am.
Not visible. Not visible. Second slide not visible.
But few are saying it is visible.
Because the network.
Not visible, ma'am.
Now
Not
it is
visible,
visible.
ma'am.
Only first slide is
Now it is visible or not?
No, ma'am.
Now visible. Now visible.
Yes, now visible.
Now visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now visible.
Okay. Sir, please check it out. Now it is visible. It's the introduction part.
Okay, yes, madam. Visible.
Okay. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed our world locally, globally, and the nursing profession has been one of the most impacted by the changes, the devastation, and the exposure to the disease. Everybody know today it's a devastating condition in the world where nurses have to work at the frontiers caring for the COVID patient. It is very, very difficult for them. We will see in the next slides how it is difficult for the nurses to work as a front lines in the COVID unit. Nurses have been on the front line and in the spotlight, and no one could have predicted how this pandemic would impact our workflow, our priorities, our expectations, and our resilience. It's very difficult for the staff nurses to recover because it will affect their family and their workflow. Nurses around the world have been called on care for hospitalized COVID-19 patients like never before. From patient care to communicating with loved one not allowed in the hospital to being the only person at the bedside of the patient as they pass away, nurses on the front line have proven to invaluable in the fight against the coronavirus. This PPT is visible to everyone?
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, so what previously I have discussed is the over 90 million reported cases till date. While new vaccines provide hope for the new year, we still see record levels of infections and hospitalization. Nursing and nurses leadership teams periodically take on a challenge of the coronavirus every day, but the impact on nursing field is significant. So, according to Howard Catton is a nurse and the CEO of International Council of Nursing at Geneva, saying, what does it mean to come to the table, to be at the table? It means nurses have to be skillful for today's work. Nurses have to be very skillful regarding the procedures, regarding the oxygen supplementation, regarding the psychological support, regarding every part which she might not learn during the course. So nurses are learning that new skill set to communicate at the table and building out the pipeline to tell the stories from every corner of the nursing. Next lines given by Pandora Hartman. She is the Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer at USA. Globally preparing nursing is challenging because low and middle income countries may not have the systems and the tools. They all need to be together. Training isn't enough when the place of healthcare delivery doesn't have the resources. By this graph, I want to say a few things regarding the first wave, second wave, third wave, and the fourth wave. You know, everybody, now we are on the second wave of COVID-19. So if you see the first wave, it shoots up immediately mortality and morbidity of COVID-19 and it comes to the normal phase. But if you see the second phase, the second wave, which nowadays is going on, is the impact on resource, restriction on urgent non-COVID conditions. Now we are facing the lack of PPE, the lack of masks, the lack of medicines, the lack of ventilators, the lack of every type of resources or inadequacies for the hospital to cure for the patient. We are facing this in the second wave. Whereas it is in the third wave, impact of interrupted care on the chronic conditions. And again, the very traumatic condition, that is the fourth wave, the psychic trauma, the mental illness, economic injury and burnout, which will never become down to be normal. So that's why nurses, every healthcare workers giving their best to take the condition to the first wave or to the normal instead of going to the other waves. Nurses as the frontiers. Nurses are the frontline healthcare professionals who work across acute care hospital, long-term care agencies, nurses' homes, schools, community and government healthcare agencies. The multiple role and the functions played by the nurses are particularly important during this COVID pandemic-19. And I have made the major roles and responsibilities of the nurses into the 5 domains. What all are the 5 domains? The 5 domains of the nurse's responsibility is the health education, should cover strategies for infection prevention. The first domain is not only the health education, it may be the screening services, it is the support for the general public and for the individual. What health education we can provide to the patient and to the relatives? Everyone knows we have to provide education related to how to wear the mask, how to sanitize the hand, how to avoid the touching to eye symptoms. If we are providing these type of health education, we are covering and we are recovering the rate up to maximum extent. Screening services based on screening a patient if he or she is having any symptomatics related to fever. Nowadays the season is going for flus, so that flu may be misunderstood with the COVID. So COVID is also showing the same sign and symptom as that of flu. So we should not ignore that sign and symptoms. We should be at the front line to see the other screening of the patient. Second domain is the nosocomial infection prevention and surveillance. This surveillance is the close observation of each and everything. Nurses should screen the suspected cases, record the history of travel, standard precautions she must use, and educate the families again and the healthcare staff to prevent the nosocomial infection. So furthermore, nurses should implement the isolation care and monitor the patient by using the other systems. And most important is the provide emotional support to the individual or should educate the patient regarding the isolation and the quarantine. Third and very important domain is implementing the appropriate preparations and precaution in nursing home and long-term care settings. Patients, those are in the long care facilities and running homes are very vulnerable to the infection. So during the contracting COVID-19, we are facing high instance of experiencing severe pneumonia and even death. So we should prepare the staff and protective care and environment at the sites. So we have to make the care plans. Nowadays our online classes is going on. So it is very difficult for nurses to be study at online. Even this is also the impact of COVID-19 on the nursing education. But we make sure that we are trained the students to make the nursing care plan at home also, so that if they are not in the physical setting, they should know how to care for the patient in the future. Protection of patients with the immune deficient is the fourth domain, and it is also again a very important domain. The patient face significantly high risk from COVID-19, those who are immunologically deficient. So there are few points that I observed during my clinical posting nowadays, which we should know when we are caring for the patients with the immune deficient, even me and you also, those who are not very immunologically strong. Hand washing for 20 seconds with soap and water. Avoid touching eyes, nose and mouth. Avoid close contact with the people with whom you are think are sick. Cover your nose during cough and sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently. Maintain at least 1 meter or 3 feet distance. Wear mask all the time. Stay home and self-isolate. These points are very easy to say, and these points are very general point. But believe me, I am going to the hospital. If we are following these points, you will never get an infection in the future or during the time you are working as a nurse. Last point, fifth domain of the nursing responsibility is providing care to the patient with COVID-19 who are in acute or critical condition. Now come to the point of COVID. When we are working as a staff nurses during the physical contact with the patient, those we are getting the PPE, everything, but still the mortality rate of the patient is high. We are caring for the patient from morning to night. The infection affects the lungs, which leads to severe pneumonia and even death. So this is important to provide urgent intensive care to the patient who are infected and symptomatic, particularly so for those with severe condition. So these are the 5 domains or the nursing responsibility. If we are fulfilling these nursing responsibility, we might decrease the cases or we might go towards the recovery of the patient. So I am repeating this again just to keep stuck to your mind. If you are one of the nurse at the front line, please do educate your patient or to the family or to yourself. Nosocomial infection prevention, implementing appropriate preparation and precaution, protection of the patient with immune deficient, and providing care to the patient with COVID-19. Now, very recently we are at the phase where actually nurses face the very challenges. What is challenge? The challenge is when the nurses are think to quit the job, when the nurses are think to go for other jobs. Why so? So there are again the challenges faced by the nursing professions during COVID-19. First is the providing support to reduce gap in the critical knowledge. So in the general hospital, when the staff nurses is working, or during our study course, or during the posting as a student, or during the posting as a staff nurse, there are many instruments and there are many technologies that are very different in the COVID-19 ward care. One and the most important example I am giving you is the high flow nasal cannula, HFNC, to maintain the saturation for 92 to 96%. And second very important thing is the prone positioning to improve the oxygenation. So might we are not knowing these two facts which are under this study, or it is evidence-based practices, but most of the staff nurses do not know about this. So we have to give the latest knowledge to protect healthcare professional and nursing staff who are caring for the patient with COVID-19. Healthcare providers must be educated about the dangerous infection, including the proper use of personal protective equipment, proper personal hygiene practices, and related environmental measures. These are very simple measures जो कि हमें आज के टाइम पे पता होना चाहिए. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि prone position we are not giving to the patient very frequently, but yes, it is research evidence that if we are giving the prone position to the patient, it will improve the oxygenation. So these type of gaps we have to reduce so that the healthcare worker give proper care to the patient. Second is preventing the inadequacies in the healthcare system. The rapid spread of COVID-19 has caused challenges worldwide. especially in the terms of delivering sufficient personal protective equipment to the healthcare system. The disease mainly spread through respiratory droplets. Everybody knows this. Insufficient personal protective equipment has been associated with occupational exposure and illness. Related to this, there are other inadequacies in the healthcare system. You might aware of that. That is lacking of the testing kits or the component of the testing kit, ventilator shortages, disinfection and cleaning supplies, and nowadays very rocketing topic is going on, that is the lack of oxygen in overall India, not in my university, my hospital, not in the other. Overall oxygen supply is very less. So if we are giving the prone position to the patient, if we know how much liter of oxygen per minute we have to give to the patient through high flow nasal cannula or venturi mask or nasal cannula, we can save oxygen for most of the patient who need it at an emergency. Third is the policies and strategies to prevent staff shortage. Outbreak of recognized contagious illness, that is communicable illness such as COVID-19, highlight the risk of safety problems for healthcare provider and nurses. Manpower shortage. Now it's a COVID. It's very important to save the staff during the infectious disease. Outbreak may be caused by uncertainties regarding life-threatening infectious sources and real cases of infection among the healthcare staff. Psychological and support for patient, healthcare professional and the nurses. So during the outbreak of new infectious disease such as COVID-19, uncertainty, anxiety, panic spread as the overall situation changes quickly, particularly while the disease is not yet under control. So at this time, supporting those with the disease, those under the isolation, healthcare staff is essential. So implementing the policies and strategies to decrease conflicts stemming from disease-related discrimination and isolation is also critical. So these things are very important. Last but not the least, the challenges faced by nursing professionals are the research to enhance knowledge on COVID-19 prevention and management. So the lived experience strategies and policies related to confronting, exploring and managing COVID-19 are important to healthcare professionals and nurses in preventing and managing future outbreak of infectious disease like COVID-19 is very important. I have quoted few researches. After this slide, I am going to show few researches to you which have evidence that why the nurses have a shortage, why the nurses have the reduced gap of the knowledge and others. The biggest challenge the nurses faced taking showers in the backyard, in the makeshift contraption, staying away from loved ones by sleeping on the sofa at home or in the tent, outside or in the hotel room, not hugging and kissing children or a spouse. These are the sacrifices that the nurses and the other frontline workers make every day to care for COVID-19 patients. Most of us are sitting at the home reading this. I am speaking, but the lines are the proven lines which shows the nurses are doing their best duties to save the life of the COVID-19 patients. When the World Health Organization designated 2020 as the International Year of the Nurse and the Midwife, well before the pandemic hit, the idea was to celebrate these essential healthcare professionals and to bring light the challenges often inherent in the profession. So this is given by the Jennifer Tobert. She is the executive and the vice president of Johnson & Johnson's company. Why 2020 will forever be the year of nurse? And look back on how the pandemic has impacted nursing. Johnson & Johnson has a long legacy of supporting the nurse community and the challenges brought on by COVID-19 have only strengthened its commitment to find new ways to give back to these essential healthcare workers over the past years. So that's why we have celebrated already 2020 is a year of nurses. There are certain fast facts according to World Health Organization which shows 21% of nurses are likely to look for the new nursing position. These fast facts which I am going to explain now are based on the challenges faced by the nurses during caring for the patient of COVID-19 patient. 11% of nurses, mostly from home healthcare, are more likely to get out of the nursing entirely. Roughly half of the nurses are looking for new jobs, whether they are happy in their roles or not. Most recruiting opportunities are in office-based and non-teaching hospital environment. So these are the fast facts which indulged during the second wave of the COVID-19. Next is the impact of COVID-19 on nurses directly. COVID-19 impacted the staff nurses based on physical, psychological, and economic. Physical, during delivering the care whilst wearing cumbersome PPE, and the fear of skyrocketing rates of infection. So it's very difficult for the staff nurses to wear the PPE. It's a plastic like a cover, and it is very difficult for the staff nurses to wear. Think of 12 hours duty and we have wear the plastic cover. Second is the psychological, being isolated from family and society, impact of their career planning. And economic and financial, sacrifice financially, massive expenses of treatment on the reduced income and possibly without the health insurance. So physical impact, research based, typical sign and symptom, the nurses during working with the COVID patient, fever, cough, weakness, cutaneous manifestation wearing the mask, chest distress, headache and diarrhea. And some psychological impact, again basis on the research, anxiety and stress, insomnia, anger and fear, workload, burnout, depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. So research study shows one of the research study done by Francisco Sampio to evaluate the variation in nurses' sleep quality and symptom of depression, anxiety and stress during COVID-19 outbreak, and to evaluate whether the presence of potential risk factor influence these symptoms over time. This study is done in March 2021, last month only, and it shows that nurses' sleep quality and symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress presented a positive variation over the COVID-19 outbreak. And the only factor which are directly related to COVID-19 outbreak and they were associated with the positive variation in nursing symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress were the fear to infect others and the feeling still we are thinking for the other people that we should not infect the members, we should not infect the relatives, we should not infect the students. We are nurses, we are caring for the patient, but we are thinking, we have fear not to infect others. So this is studied done by the Francisco. Whole health begins with the mental health. We are studying this line from the first day we started the profession. It care for the patient, otherwise receive good quality communication and accurate updates. Rotate the worker from high stress to the lower stress function. These points I have written based on my personal experience, that how we can overcome the challenges and how we can overcome the turnover of the patient, turnover of the nurses by good quality communication, by rotating the workers from high stress to low stress, by partner inexperienced workers with more experienced persons so that she will get or he will get the support and reduce the stress. Initiate and encourage the monitor work breaks, implement flexible schedule for the workers or the staff nurses, ensure staff know where they can assess mental health and psychosocial support services. All of the above applies to you as an individual. Managers who are role models of self-care are able to mitigate the stress. Another very important and today's rising technology is the rise of telehealth, which helps nurses to reduce their stress. One of the major impact of COVID-19 on the field of nursing is the growing importance of telehealth and the nursing informatics. In response to COVID-19, states are expanding telehealth in Medicaid by making adjustment to key areas to population, to services and payment rates, technology, and to the providers. So, COVID-19 pandemic, how telehealth can help? Will prevent the emergency rooms from being overcrowded, will limit the exposure among healthcare workers to infected individuals workers by keeping patient at home. Telehealth is not at that much speed in India, but yes, in the US and China, telemedicine has already been adopted to tackle the COVID-19 patient. Hopefully, cross fingers, it will definitely come soon to India so that it will not burden the staff nurses. Okay, what went well and what went less well? To identify the best practices and the key challenges, to identify and institutionalize new capacities developed so far during the response. For example, like developing the new standard operating protocols, SOP, new equipment purchased and new skills learned. I have spent my entire career in the healthcare, which has deepened my belief that patients must be at the center of all we do. And I think all of you will believe that we from the first day as a nurses, we believe and we're at center learning is the patients only. But the pandemic has made it abundantly clear that we can't do that without ensuring our frontline healthcare workers are supported as well. So I salute to the nursing and I feel to be proud as a nurse and I am doing the duty as a frontline workers, as a volunteer worker at my university. This pandemic isn't ending anytime soon, given by Haskett said. If we can discover what nurses need now, we can help them in a short term by figuring out how they can better cope or feel some sense of relief from stress they are under. So we have to be as a family member, psychological support to the staff nurses. And we promise to each other this time on the Nurses Day, we believe and we will win and we will get rid of this COVID-19 soon. So the rapid spread of COVID-19 possesses a serious threat to human health and is impacting severely on public health, global communication, economic system worldwide. Nurses are the key member of healthcare teams charged to control and prevent the spread of infectious disease. Moreover, nurses work on the front line, providing direct care to the individual infected with COVID-19. Further effort is necessary to develop strategic recommendations and to integrate new knowledge into the education. The immediate efforts to control and prevent COVID-19 and to care for those who are infected remain on. Thank you very much. If you have any query, the floor is open for questions.
Okay, madam. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, Shrinu sir. Thank you, Shrinu sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, madam. Such a great presentation. We hope all the participants learned and enjoyed this topic. This information will help us. Our talk was particularly appropriate at this time. Madam explained the recent advanced care treatment and basic care about the COVID-19. And Madam will explain storm positioning and oxygen and all the advanced basic care Madam explained. And Madam also told the friend then worker of the Adesh University. Here also doing like this, Madam.
Thank you very much,
And Madam
sir.
explained the five domain. There is a very nice explanation of education, also community instruction, and hand washing, and providing a critical care condition to acute critical condition. This is a very advanced level. Madam explained, and Madam the impact of nurses, the physical, psychological, and economically, and the rise of the telehealth, and the biggest challenge. It's a challenge. The COVID-19 is the biggest challenge for the nurses. And Madam, this is a very nice presentation, and we got more information about this Nightingale and community. And I really appreciate that you took time to be here. And thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Renu sir, and thank you SCPM group of institutions to give me the way or give me the chance to explain my view of giving care to the patient during such a pandemic condition. And I hope two things that I have told, that is prone position and the oxygen by high flow nasal cannula, will help all the nurses and all the educators who are listening to me very well. Thank you very much.
Okay, next, I would like to invite Professor Meena Kumari madam for presenting the topic Raising Resilience in the World of COVID-19. Madam, Meena madam.
Thank you, Srinu.
Thank you, Srinu. Madam Simranjit, madam, can you please close your madam screen?
Thank you, Hanji, ma'am. Definitely, ma'am.
Thank you so much, madam, for your nice presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Screen कैसे open करें? I'll start the presentation. The topic which is given for me is resilience in the world of COVID-19. So I'll start the presentation. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. The topic which is given for me is nursing resilience in the world of COVID-19. What is resilience? Resilience means the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. So this resilience word is derived from the Latin word resilere, which means
Madam.
Yes,
Madam.
yes,
Madam,
Renu.
Slide, second slide is not showing.
Not showing.
Not showing, second slide. Okay. I think
maybe network issue. Stop sharing, sir.
okay, madam.
Just asking.
Is it visible?
No, madam. No, okay.
Okay.
So,
So resilience is a Latin word, which is that word is resilire, which means the skills to overcome or become adapted to highly difficult circumstances. The impact of COVID-19 affects the world among all the populations. The general population has this impact. The general population has irritability. They will experience anxiety, and they'll also experience changes in concentration, and they will also have sleep disruption. These impact which presents in the general population, and impact of COVID-19 which affect the health personnel also, more importantly, especially the health nurses. They will face staying away from family.
Madam, one more slide. Stop sharing. Hide. Put the hide. Shadow. Slide. This.
Okay, social isolation. The nurses are facing, the healthcare personnel are facing the impact of staying away from family, social isolation. It's not coming. Stop it. 1 second. And worrying about dealing with the contagious diseases. And nurses. As a nurse, nurses are suffering lots of problems in the COVID-19 period. The problems which are faced by the nurses are shortage of experienced nurses. The nurses, definitely, patients are number is increasing and increasing. So the caregiving people number is less only. So there is shortage of experienced nurses who gives care to the people, and shortage of PPE also, and unavailability of accommodation. So they need to be in a separate accommodation. So there will not be adequate accommodation for all the healthcare personnel. And they will also face the transportation facilities problems, because they have to stay away from the family, or they have to go all the times in between. Any time they have to go for the hospital duty. So there will be transportation problem also, and they will also face inadequate quarantine facilities. Since they are giving long hours working period, so their energy level will be exhausted. So they will be very tired. So they will also face physical exhaustion problems. And they will also face mental stress, since giving care for longer period and seeing very sick people long period. So they will also face mental stress and lack of health insurance, definitely, because family will be supporting. They will be supporting the family. So if anything happens to them, their family will be suffered. So the lack of health insurance will also be the problem for their family. And personal safety, security at workplace and community also. So they will also have safety and security problems in the working environment and also in the community. And they will face lack of counseling in distress. So everybody will be under mental stress. So we cannot give all the people counseling. So there will be lack of counseling in distress time. And they will also have communication gap between the hospital authorities and nursing leaders. So they cannot expose their problems directly to the management. So in between the people also there will be communication problem, so that they will not be able to share their problems to the management. And they will also face inadequate supportive services like food facilities and other facilities while on their duties. And they will have labor problems also, because these labor union people and the politicians, they will take their advantage during this COVID-19 period for their selfish motives. And they have to work for longer working hours, because shift duty, because lack of shortage of nurses in the working environment. So there will be longer working hours, and they will also face moral distress. And definitely they will be concerned about their safety of the family members during this COVID-19 period. So these are all the problems as a nurse who faces in the COVID-19 period. A study shows, Stitcher et al., he did a study among New York healthcare workers. In his study, he discovered highly distressing factors. Some factors he identified that are 74% of people, healthcare worker, family, possibility of transmitting COVID-19 to their family. So, and next is health of the family and friends will be 71%, and 70% of will be lack of control, and 68% will be lack of testing, and 68% will be lack of PPE. So these are all the distressing factors for he identified for the nurses. And nurses and advanced practice providers are the main people who are suffering. They are facing the acute stress than the physicians, and stress and depressive symptoms will be more among the nurses and the advanced nursing practice providers than the physicians. And anxieties and stress will be seen more limited to the acute phase of exposure to the pandemic, but burnout can be ongoing. So this is how this is what he identified in his study. Is resilience important for nurses? Yes, it is important for the nurses. Why? Because resilience gives us the ability to resist disruption of how we normally function by anticipating and preparing for the event. And this play a role in the difference between those who experience burnout and those who do not. We can use strategies to increase resiliency, decrease burnout, and increase coping behavior. So what are the strategies can be used to improve the resilience? There are two strategies, self-care strategy and social support. First thing is self-care strategy. Self-care, no, we are taking care of ourselves. So sleep. So we have to, as a nurse, we have to have adequate sleep to maintain our physical health and also mental health. And they have to have good nutritional, well-balanced diet to improve our immunity and for their physical health. Yes, of course, music also will be helping for their mind relaxation during this period, so that the stress will be reduced. Reading also will be one of the relaxation method and diverting method for the nurses to come away from this stress period. And installation of hope. Yes, of course, we have to have the hope to overcome these situations, and everybody have to have positive thinking to come out of this situation. And they will also have to practice creative activities like craft working, drawing, painting. So this is a diversional method to come out of these situations. And prayer is, of course, among all these things, prayer is the very important thing which we can come out of this. So we'll take care of ourselves by prayer. And aerobic exercises, relaxation exercises, yoga and meditation. So these are also taking a major role to improve our self-care physically, both mentally. Next is social support. Support system will have two support systems, that is personal support system and workplace support system. Personal support system includes family and friends, and workplace support system includes colleagues in hospital or organization. Personal support system is staying connected with family and the friends. So when they are in isolation period, when they are isolated, staying away from the family, they can make a call, video calls or conference calls to the family members and friends, and they can share their views and they can spend some time with them so that their stress level will be decreased. So these can reduce the lower risk of burnout, and it will be relieving from their social isolation and increases their coping behavior. And workplace support system, working environment, organization or for the nurses, hospital have to give adequate protection for the nurses, and it has to provide provision of adequate level of PPE. So because shortage of PPE, all the people will not be getting proper PPE. So this has to be solved by the organization or by the hospital. And they should be frank about the situation, management or the hospital. They have to reveal the current situations, the true situation should be told to the employees. And monitor the well-being of the staff. Definitely, management has to take care of the employees for their physical health and mental health. And there should be good communication so that the shortage of problems will be sorted out. They can identify, management will identify the problems from the employees and they can sort out the problems. And supportive professional leadership is, of course, they have to have professional leadership support should be there. And training in use of PPE. So this is the new thing, that is PPE, because all the nurses will not be knowing it. So they must have proper training how to wear it, how to use this PPE. So adequate training has to be given for the health employees. And appropriate work duties, all the people have to have equal timings of duties, and appropriate duties should be organized for the nurses. And fair distribution of resources, there should not be any partiality. For some people, they will get adequate resources and some nurses will not be getting. No, it should not be like that. So all the nurses should be receiving adequate resources and provide psychological support. Yes, they will be under more stress. So organization or hospital has to arrange for their counseling for the nurses, adequate counseling support for the employees or nurses. And coping, next slide, this shows coping mechanisms of the nurses and ways to strengthen the resilience for the nurses. So what are the coping mechanisms? So definitely knowledge, skills and experience will help for the coping situations for the nurses. The nurse-patient relationship will be very important, and support system, as we saw already, personal and organizational support system will be the definitely important coping mechanism. And spirituality, that is religion and self-care also. And coping with involuntary MHCUS, mental health care users. So that will be very difficult in this situation, coping with these mental health care users. So it's very difficult and challenging situations for the nurses to cope up with the situations. So what are the strengthening resilience techniques or factors or mechanisms which helps to improve the strengthening of the resilience? As we saw already, the support system, support and train the staff, so adequate training for the staff so that they will improve their knowledge, security and safety measures, teamwork and in-service training, education. So overall, the proper education has to be given for the nurses to face the strengthening, resilience strengthening. A study shows to improve the resilience, nurse resilience. There are lots of studies they have done, but in that I'll quote only 2 studies which is important for the nurses. McDonald et al. He did an educational intervention study. He performed this to improve the nurses and midwives' resilience. He applied this educational interventions, work-based educational interventions to the nurses and midwives working in very busy clinics. The main aim of the study is to help them to maintain their resilience level. He concluded finally that their self-confidence, self-mindfulness, communication and problem-solving skills were improved. He also revealed that educated nurses who strengthen their relationships with their colleagues by giving this educational intervention. As a result, the attendants improved their self-confidence, self-awareness, boldness and self-care. And second study, Raiji et al. He applied the same intervention program, resilience intervention program, to the nurses to improve their emotional well-being and to lower their mercy exhaustion. So finally, he reported significant improvement in their mercy exhaustion and stress levels by undergoing these intervention programs. So from all these studies, I have selected some interventions from all the studies that are personal interventions, personal characteristics, workplace characteristics, and social network. Personal characteristics that are cognitive ability, adaptability, positive identity, social support, coping skills, spiritual connection, optimism, self-efficacy, sense of humor, control, competence, hope, and ability to find meaning in adversity can be strengthened and learned by educational activities, mentorship, and orientation programs. So all these are personal characteristics. Workplace interventions are accepting and acknowledging lessons and facts relating to working their clinics, and improving the work satisfaction among the employees, preparing environments for them to share their experiences, getting support from the colleagues, mentors and team fellows also, and giving opportunities to reflect upon and to learn from practice and from other practitioners should be planned and applied. And social interventions are improving positive and supportive professional relations, building supportive relationships as well as social support in daily life, having a balance in their lives, having spiritual beliefs, offering options such as exercise, rest, interest, applying some self-care applications to get away from a busy days. Stress can be strengthened and learned by educational activities membership. And some factors help the nurses in increasing and supporting their resilience. First factor is maintaining good positive relationship with family members, friends, and also the organization, the hospital. And accepting that there are circumstances which are out of one's control. We have to accept the factors, even if it goes beyond our control. Sustaining optimism and hopeful outlook for the future. So we must have positive feelings and hopeful situations in the future. And keeping a long-term perspective and mindfulness, very important thing, which requires paying attention and being present in the moment. So these are all the important factors which help the nurses in increasing and supporting their resilience. And some of the habits which as a nurse we have to practice in the COVID-19 period to improve the resilience. First one is practice beginner's mind. First habit. So what do you mean by practice beginner's mind? That means approaching familiar and unfamiliar things in life with a sense of curiosity from the perspective of an adult who, based on expertise and judgment, makes certain assumptions. And second behavior, second habit is let go. It means it is not giving in or giving up, but releasing the need to control the outcome of
Letting go is always the most popular mindfulness practice, especially for the healthcare professionals. Be kind and compassionate. Compassion is the desire to alleviate suffering
by expressing a fundamental loving kindness. More simply, it means to be kind. Compassion begins with kindness to ourselves and is contagious. Fourth habit is practice gratitude. So nurses and healthcare providers can always appreciate their health, secure job, and expertise, which make a crucial and positive difference in patients' lives each day. By practicing thankfulness, nurses can expand their minds, see more abundance and opportunities, and stay optimistic. And next habit is stay authentic. So authenticity is being true to your personality, spirit, or character despite external pressures. Authenticity is reflected in the workplace, as nurses will be able to have honest relationship with their patients, who will in turn trust them as their care providers and cooperate with with treatments. Stay committed. Being dedicated. Commitment is dedicated. Committed. So being dedicated to what one does and going through with it. With persistence and patience can help nurses to complete their workload and ultimately increase their belief in themselves. The last habit is trust oneself. Nurses naturally have great intuition and even use it for patient care. By trusting gut feelings and embracing faith, nurses can build their confidence and become not only resilient but resourceful. And these are all the habits as a nurse we have to follow. I conclude my topic. The International Nurses Day theme for 2016 of International Council of Nurses is Nurses, a Force for Change, Improving Health Systems Resilience. If we strive to improve health establishments and care given to patients, we also need to improve nurses, because nurses have important knowledge and skills to build and maintain changes. The way to increase and secure this power is to improve the resilience of nurses. Nursing absolutely requires resilience. Keeping strong and confident in body, mind, and spirit can positively reflect on nurses and increase productivity, work relationships, and energy levels. By practicing some of the above habits, which I told you, and this will increase emotional intelligence, nurses can build their resilience and thrive in both their professional and personal lives. The response to the COVID-19 pandemic will continue to be a journey for healthcare institutions well into the future. Resilient individuals, teams, and organizations promote growth through adversity with the goal of emerging stronger. Being a nurse means to hold all your own fears and start drawing smiles on people's faces. Nursing is sacrificing. Nurses are real heroes, especially during this COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. It's a great presentation. It was interesting and informative. We are grateful for the time you spent in careful preparation to present with us at the meeting. And madam explained about the challenges and problem faced by nurses and high distressing factor and how to we are coping mechanism, how to we are overcome that resilience. They are explained how we and we are the madam explained about the personal characteristics workplace and improving the stress level and habits and all of the things because the COVID-19 pandemic, all the nurses are suffering very big problem. So how to overcome? How to we have to manage this problem? These are the characteristics. These are the habits and what are the training? These are the factors also madam explained. And once more, I thank you. I once more appreciate you. Thank you for the presentation here today. Thank you, madam. The next, the program will be winding up. So, I will so this program will be winding up. So, just a vote of thanks. So, I would like to invite Ms. Kanjan Devi madam to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Srinu sir, to call me for vote of thanks. So, good evening, everyone, to all gathered here on this wonderful evening. I would like to present the vote of thanks on behalf of Medical Department, SCPM.
The sound is not clear. The sound is not clear.
Srinu sir.
This one.
Sorry for this vote of thanks. Actually, before presenting my vote of thanks, I would like to call my special guest, Mr. Dheeraj Dubey sir, who is an administrator of SCPM College of Nursing. So, I want to call Dheeraj Dubey sir just to present few lines on COVID-19. Okay, madam.
Hello. Hello.
आएगा
आवाज आवाज आ रही है
सर आ रही है।
आप सबको गुड इवनिंग। हाँ आप सबको गुड इवनिंग। हाँ
Very good evening.
हाँ
Good evening, sir.
हाँ हाँ। सबसे पहले रिस्पेक्टेड चेयरमैन सर एवं अलका मैम को गुड इवनिंग, और मनी मेघले मैम और वाइस प्रिंसिपल स्मिता मैम और अदर मेडिकल सर्जिकल डिपार्टमेंट के सभी स्टाफ को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एवं थैंक यू, हमें इस वर्चुअल वेबिनार में बोलने के लिए अवसर दिया आप लोगों ने। आप सब ने बहुत ही अच्छे से बहुत ही कम समय में इस वर्चुअल वेबिनार का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन किया है। हेलो आवाज आ रही है ना?
Yes, sir. आवाज आ रही है.
आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और आप सब लोग आगे भी ऐसे ही तमाम वेबिनार का आयोजन करते रहिए। इन्हीं शुभकामनाओं के साथ हम अपने वाणी को विराम देते हैं। आप सबको धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू कंचन मैम।
थैंक यू सर को गेस्ट करने के लिए।
Kanjan madam personally open things.
Now, I would like to call Ms. Alka Pandey ma'am as our chief guest to present a few lines on COVID-19 pandemic. Alka ma'am, please come.
Kanchan, wait for some time.
Kanchan, please wait. Please wait. Srinu, wait. Alka madam is joining now. 8 minutes. Srinu. Srinu. Hello. Till then, ask Smita madam to give speech, na?
Okay.
Okay. Before she enters, Alka madam is on the way.
Okay.
Where is Srinu?
Okay. Okay, madam. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Alka madam, the president of the SCPM group. Madam will give some inspiring words. Madam,
मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
yes, madam.
आ रही है मैम।
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Good evening, ma'am.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन।
Good evening, ma'am.
गुड इवनिंग मैम।
Good evening, ma'am.
आप सब कैसे हो?
बढ़िया मैम.
मैडम एकदम अच्छे।
ओके, सबसे पहले तो मैं SCPM की तरफ से आप सबका वेलकम करती हूँ, और इस कोरोना पैंडेमिक में मैं आप सबको बस इतना ही बोलना चाहती हूँ कि सेफ रहिए और अपना ख्याल रखिए। और अभी मैंने आपके बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट और बहुत सारे आपके वो मैंने देखा, उससे बहुत मतलब लोगों को बहुत सपोर्टिव था और लोगों को बहुत सारा मैसेज देता हुआ था। ये मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, और आई होप आप सभी फ्रंट वैरियर जो है नर्सिंग का, जो अभी मीटिंग में था, जो सारे प्रोजेक्ट और ये सारे चीज़ जो आपने एक इंडिकेशन करके बताया लोगों को प्रोजेक्ट के थ्रू, पोस्टर के थ्रू, और अभी एक मैम का मैंने शुरुआती में स्पीच भी सुना था और बहुत अच्छा था। आई होप आप सब स्वस्थ रहेंगे और अपना ख्याल रखेंगे। और मैं क्या बोलूँ इसमें पैंडेमिक में कि सभी दुखी हैं, सभी एक दूसरे के सपोर्टिव बने और एक दूसरे का ख्याल रखें। और इसी के साथ मैं थैंक यू और आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू मैम,
Thank you, ma'am. For your presence.
थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू।
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for your sincere request.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू,
We are grateful that you would take the time to spend your evening with us. Thank you, madam.
थैंक यू।
Next, I would like to invite
6 तारीख तक है।
Kanjan Devi for giving
सबसे
photo
आगे ना
time.
रहे ना, सैटरडे संडे ना रहे।
Kanjan Devi,
Thank you, sir, to call me for a vote. Good evening to one and all gathered here on this wonderful evening. I would like to present vote of thanks on behalf of Medical Surgical Department, SCPM College of Nursing, Gonda. We take this golden opportunity to thank the respected chief guest of this conference, Dr. O.N. Pandey sir, Mrs. Alka Pandey ma'am, Dr. Ayush Pandey sir, and Dr. Ayushi Pandey ma'am for attending this conference from their busy schedule to grace this occasion. Thank you, ma'am and sir. Further, a big thank to our special guests, Mr. Ajtab Dupe sir and Dheeraj Dube sir, not only spending their time with us today, but also for encouraging us to achieve many endeavors. Thank you, sir. I also wish to express my gratitude to Principal Mrs. Mani Meglai ma'am and Vice Principal Mrs. Smita Philip ma'am for providing us encouragement at this conference. Thank you, ma'am. We must mention our deep sense of appreciation for our resource person, Mrs. Simranjeet Kaur Brar, who gave brief knowledge on nursing perspective on impact of COVID-19. We will cultivate the advice you gave us on real situation. Thank you, ma'am. So, proceeding a vote of thanks, I may like to express our sincere thanks to Mrs. Meena Kumari ma'am for excellent coverage to nursing resilience on COVID-19. We all are inspired by your great words, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your brief knowledge on COVID-19. Next, I sincerely thank to all the faculty of Medical Surgical Department and Dr. Aspin sir from Psychiatric Department, whom efficient work helps to make successful this conference. Thank you, sir. Last but not least, I want to thank our beloved audience for making this conference as a grand success. Thank you for joining us. I show appreciation to the people who have been the strength of this conference. Once again, I would like to state that we are glad to all the speakers here over the meeting. We thank you for being with us. Thank you so much.
Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Smita Philip madam, Vice Principal of SCPM College of Nursing, to give some words.
Respected O.N. Pandey sir, Alka ma'am, respected Alka ma'am, respected Ajitab sir, respected Dheeraj sir, respected Principal ma'am, Professor Mani Meglai ma'am, all Medical Surgical Department people, teaching staff, Dr. Aspin, many congratulations to all of you for having put up a nice webinar in such short time. Like how Dheeraj sir has said, you have done a great job. सारी चीजों को आपने और मैम ने भी बहुत अच्छे से सारा चीज को कवर कर दिया और मीना कुमारी मैम ने भी अपने तरीके से सारे जो नर्सेस को क्या करना है इस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में उसको उन्होंने अच्छी तरह से कवर करके हम सब लोगों को बताया. Thank you very much and congratulations to the whole team for making this virtual conference a grand success. Congratulations once again and thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak in this special occasion. Thank you once again.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Okay, we are ending this webinar. Thank you again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. And one more thing, and all the participants, one more thanks for joining with us this valuable time. Thank you for all. And one more thing, we will send the feedback link to your email ID, and after fill you can get the certificate. Thank you.